They threw the rod out. Nothing came back.
Needed better bait in that situation. Monster didn't put a big enough worm on the line there, but we see Pamstow picking up another one. They're eating good tonight. You can see their coolers plenty stocked full. They'll be tossing those on the grill and hoping to keeping it rolling right now as we're going to swing on over. Second place team still up on their feet right now, which they were our leaders coming in. We saw Chimp actually pick up another elim. It looks like they've just barely edged out the lead right now. Chimp himself doing it with 3 elims, Monster. They're 2 points clear of them.
Another thing to mention, Iamzo and DJ finally making an endgame after their strong start, bad fizzle out. So this is that day 2 performance we're looking out for. Those are the teams that have that opportunity to come back. This is what makes FNCS Final 2-day format so exciting here. You never really know who's going to continue to keep themselves in the game here. For Chimp and Spade, though, they're trying to do everything now. Shred to pieces on the rotate through, held to the storm behind him. He has to bulldoze his way in, and it's not going to be enough. Spade also focused on the back half. It's not looking good here as he gets down to 9 HP. Just a few damage above here. Is there enough in the magazine to get the elim? Doesn't look like it. Back to the storm he goes. A little bit of a misplay there, and he gets ticked out. On high ground, though, it's a huge battle in the mid ground. Miro and Bugha still holding on, looking very, very good here.
And we're into the cascading placement points as well. So each duo that drops is +1 points. Currently up on the high ground, we have Peterbot. Quanti trying to get a little bit ahead to provide the connection. We'll see the swing from Peterbot to go forward. That's on the left side of the screen. On the right side of the screen, we have Miro and Bugha in your top right, Dukes and Jamper in your bottom right. You already saw just how delicate the balance is up at the top. Chimp and Spades were able to take it away, but just the placement points going back over to Bugha and Miro will put them into first place. Still keeping eyes at the zone. Will pull back, actually going over towards the old builds and going to pull a little bit out from the space as everyone's looking for a little bit of room right now to operate. We still see Pamstow and Fash up on that mid tarp as well, trying to find a little bit of room. As in the top right-hand corner, we're going to zoom on in. And Miro right on the back, 20 attacks, and that's when the OMG2, he gets taken down. But Miro needs to find that siphon, needs the HP back. He's going to be able to get it. He needs to pop some minis. He has plenty of excess shield, but what he needs is time, and the iron wall will buy him that.
You're watching that master play right there. Beautiful job there, noticing, still putting down a cone so he doesn't get caught out there. Shadow 1X tries his best to fend off there and get a trade, but he could not find the tag there. This is a 0 elimination game for him, something we have not seen in any of his day 1 performances. They were really leading the pack with the rest of the top 3 up there with eliminations. This time around, though, things just don't start to fall in the way he was expecting. What's happening up top? It's Quanti and Peterbot, and all of a sudden Peterbot slammed from behind. Khanada and Agers start to swing their way on up, and yes, they have control of height now.
Khanada hit him with just the dink of a century. That was a heavy shotgun shot right to the teeth. You heard the sound effect come through, and it's brilliant. It shows you just how good and precise that weapon can be. But Quanti now on the backside of the zone trying to make the plays, and instead he gets popped like a pinata there. Great shot picking him up on the other side by Dukes. He's going to be able to pick up the points, but what we've seen so far from OMG Me Too in Shadow, whether it's in the qualifiers or yesterday, has been these ridiculous individual efforts, and he's getting himself just outside the top 10. Maybe a little bit of a caster's curse there as he goes down to 11th. We're going to swing on over, though, to the World Cup champ and the FNCS owner here in NAE. Miro himself trying to run through, trying to push that point total up as they're up to 215 on the back of 3 limbs and another top 10 performance. But hey, Dukes is cooking as well, and so is Pamstow in the feed.
And we're seeing a lot of individuals fall, but that placement count not really come through, so there's solos in play here. Iamzo taking out Trashy goes down, Stretch in another endgame, and somehow Stretch and Commandment make their way into the top 10, throw them in that conversation, fighting their way up. Dukes, though, holding on to a dear thread. 5 eliminations is what separates him from Bugha and Miro here, as they manage to just edge themselves up. But here, the placement points are gonna be the difference now. 5 elims as well for Stretch and Commandment, who own the ultimate low. Not a soul in sight wants to come down to the crypts to mess with the boys down here, but material is gone. Oh no, the river's in play. This is gonna become more and more difficult now.
Yeah, you can't drop the ultimate low because it will drag you out of that zone. And I mean, we've seen what Sentin ends up doing when he's down in that area. He's so good at fighting just around that area. Excuse me, Stretching Commandment. Apologize. But on the opposite side, we see Fatchy Fishy ends up getting his run ended. But Pamstow says, hello, what's that? No, it's Acorn actually taking advantage of it. He's going to take it down. There's still him and Khanada running through as Bugha finds a little bit of space, but no more builds. And we have just a 2v2 to close it out. And it's all veterans, Monster.
Khanada and Acorn still alive right now. Bugha mixed up down low. So he's one of the few solos in the game here as Miro's completely knocked. Unretrievable. Scented is here with the side angle alongside Cold. Nothing's going to be found there for Bugha. He finds the first tag, but this is it. They know better. They close him out, and a huge shot. Cold willing to go head-to-head there, and all of a sudden 10 eliminations for Cold and company. Khanada and Agers, though, trying to close this one out here alongside Acorn. Acorn and Khanada. Beautiful job right there. It's just a 2v2, a clean 2v2. Not only that, they have the mats in the hold here on the edge of the wall, but wait a second. Khanada just gets ripped up. Luckily, Acorn with the better end. They take him out. Super unfortunate there, especially when you pull zone. For Khanada and Acorn, though, they are sitting very high in the sky right now. All eyes on the field. This is going to be the information that they're going to gather. It's going to be the most valuable piece of this positioning right now. How far are they into the surge for safety? Just a little bit. They're actually not that good. But this is where a lot of players start to get cut down. The trees start to clear out here. Things begin to open up. Let's see how quickly the lobby starts to empty out. Otherwise, it's going to spell trouble.
We do have a slight change of verticality here, which with Bugha and Miro getting up at first is going to force everyone else to go over on the wide side. Anticipate a lot of people to go, but yeah, as you said, up on height. PamSow and Fatch able to pick that up because of the long rotation. Team's unable to take it away, so we're seeing their run from 16th to 10th. Can they push even higher now as they have control in the bottom right-hand corner? Current third place team, Chimp and Spade, trying to make up a little bit of the lost ground that they ended up losing last game. Top right-hand corner, Miro and Bugha looking for some space. To see Fatch picking up a knock there and a confirmation onto Quanti, doing a good job of controlling the zone. And where did we pull? We're going to keep pulling away, Monster.
Yeah, it's going to continue to slide across the field here, which is going to begin costing players match. You can see Chimp and Spade begin to run out surely, but no, just as I say that, a fresh refresh comes in right there, and it's a big elimination for them. That's going to keep them in the round, and oh my gosh, 300 metal falls from that as well. For Miro, though, he is changing layers. He is on the move here, slowly running out of builds, but it doesn't matter. This is where they start to look for eliminations. High ground. Coast is clear up top. Weather's looking great. It's beautiful. Well, actually, it's a little rainy up here as players start to come on up. The clouds start to come in. Things look a little forecasted, so off he goes. Fatch, though, putting up a fight on the way down.
Yeah, just spraying some shots, making sure nobody gets too comfortable there. I'm trying to see where PamSow ended up going, but also keep an eye on that left-hand side of the feed as Cold ends up picking up a pair of Sebastian Tabne going down. Nico and Polarized up on the high ground. Nico sitting on 4 elims himself right now, just raining shots from above. Khanada looking for a little bit of room. Is a solo running through and only has the singular build. Trying to edit, find the backside. Going to jump on top of the cone to change layer. Good job. We'll find some old builds and finds a nice little line here, but with only one build, he's going to look for a shot. He knows this is a player on the opposite side of the wall and still just ghosting around. He'll find Vert into a box, but unfortunately turns around and gets met with a thundering shotgun shot. As we swing on over, our leaders, they're still leading the way and into yet another top 10. As we see PamSow get taken down the feed.
It's looking great right now, but they're starting to run out of mats here. Big tracking here onto threats. It's a shield crack, but not enough to get the push here. But Bugha falls in the process just inside the top 10. He tries to break his teammate down, tries to see if he can pick up some mats. He does, so it's worth it. He actually secures the loot there before anyone else can. That's actually a big change there. It's going to allow him to stay alive for a little bit longer. Cold on the other side, though. No scented in place, so already another solo here. Trying to make two, trying to earn as much points as possible. Can they earn his way into the top 10? Beautiful job by Cold as he finds one. That's a 3-point win onto Jack. Nicely done there, and into the top 10 he goes. He finds someone else on the backside of Stormline. Beautifully done. That's Commandment. This is an important one. He tries to get the healing, but no, not in time. And all of a sudden now it's up to Miro here.
Miro doing a good job of making sure he's running with that med miss, catching up, getting into the zone, into a top 6 now. As he continues running through, we have a couple of solos running around. We're trying to find a little bit of room. We'll get in the spray battle with Stretch on the opposite side, and he ends up winning it. Does have plenty of shields, but only enough med miss to offset a little bit. He is running very far back in the zone. I don't know if there's another med miss back there, or he's just accepting the fact that he doesn't want to give Elim points over. Not seeing his name in the feed as we have a 2v2v1, and yeah, it looks like he was able to find something else, another med miss, but instead gets greeted by a shotgun on his way back to zone. That's Threats picking him up. Users gets the other solo, so that's +8 for them. And now we got a 2v2 here, Monster. Game number 8.
Now, these huge eliminations are big for Users and Threats. It's going to keep them jumping up the standings right now as they make their way into the top 15. A Victor Royale will be great here, but it's going to be a hard uphill battle as Polarized is definitely comfortable up top right now, but it's what builds Users finding the angles here. No mats for them. They didn't actually get to farm that tree there. Instead, they allow the high ground team to go ahead and get it. For Nico, Polarize, they come down. They take advantage of everything there, and they take the win here in the end. Nico and Polarize with a non-elimination victory royale.
If Bugha and Mira are able to get into a top 5 for the next 3 games, they don't care about pushing the face. All they care about is just staying up in the end game and eking out placement points. They could effectively win the FNCS right here with a solid performance because it puts them just that much farther ahead. Yes, it's not statistically out of the question, but with how well they've been playing, they might have been able to do enough because they're still getting elims, they're still getting placement points. Nobody is having the consistency as them so far, but right now the team who has the ability to challenge, Chimp and Spade, trying to get going, trying to get something moving, trying to find elims, trying to find fights here on the mid-ground monster. They know placement points aren't enough.
Yeah, definitely. They want that #1 spot. They're willing to fight for it. You're watching it come into play right now. They know this team edited their way on down. It's a metal wall separating them, and this is an aggressive fight right here. Here comes a pre-edit, I believe. Yes, the Space trying to hold that wall, but no, that team
they're gone.
Dips on out. Web slingers their way across the map there. And now, Chip is looking for another one. Next target, next victim in play. No code comes through. There's a pre-edited floor there too, so just trapped and dropped. These pre-edits coming out in the end game are just devastating to opponents that don't see it coming. Chimp all of a sudden now is up and comfortable here with the refresher they were looking for the maps. Finds the launch pad as well. So good for them right now. Stretching Commandment though, fighting for high ground. They're just building their way on up. Granted it for free. And now fully connected to one another here. He's missing no opportunity to go all the way up.
Keeping an eye on the left side of the screen, we see D-Gen getting knocked on the backside of the zone. That's where most of the action is right now. This yellow God rays from the top indicate Bugha and Mira. They're still operating in the mid-tarp. We actually see them get a knock in the feed. Commandant, some great shots on the backside of the zone. He's going to pick up their first elim, and that was important because they were below surge. Every bit of damage adds up, and that's going to get them just barely above as we peek in. Spade and Chimp, no problem on them being above. They're 506 above as they find a nice little refresh, and their second elimination for another round of points going to drop down. That was Polarized.
Oh my gosh, Chimp.
The winner right there. And Chimp just blows up somebody. I didn't even see who that was real quick. They just disappeared. And Miro goes down. Peterbot picks up Miro, so keeping an eye, looking for that yellow ray. The yellow ray is Bugha. If he's able to go out and still get the solo points, as we've seen, that's what makes this duo just so scary, Monster, is yes, you might get one of them down, but then you're dealing with still one of the, if not the 2 best individual solo players on the region, arguably in the world. Bugha, the last one to take home an international competition like that, and he's gonna just ride it out and get as many points as he can.
Yeah, this is where he's so comfortable, and you can see right there, he finds Nick, not afraid to go for those risky plays, to look for the eliminations. Those are points that are gonna go a long way, especially in the end game. With every elimination, it's worth 4. Not only for the points, but the placement that he gets in the process. Here comes some shots coming up from up above, and Bugha still in it right now, in it to win it here. Holding on. Reciprocal and 20 though, trying to fight their way back into the competition. They already took out some big teams this game. Now trying to play for their victory royale right now on the low ground. No, Chimp and Spade still fighting their way too. But 30 points separates them from #1 spot because Bugha is still alive.
You can see Bugha just still earning points, still taking over. However, only one build. He needs to find an elimination, though. He did find some old builds, which are just as good. He's able to open up some headshot things coming through from the stinger. He needs to check the backside of his tarp, and he gets taken down. However, yet another top 10 performance from Bugha. However, this is just a little bit of room, a little bit of breathing space for those teams. Maybe in the top 5 and the top 6 who can press forward. Smite and Larson being one of them. Spade and Chimp being the other one as we swing on over. 33 Larson looking for a little bit of room as Peterbot takes down Day. Yet another top 8 performance for Day as Cold also ends up getting Sprite. Continuing the run where Sprite and Nounsy make it off spawn. They get something, but Sentin and Cold, they're still getting some points as well as they have a strong day 2 on the opposite side of this wall.
Still fighting their way in, and now into the top 10 they go, rocketing their way up here in day #2, but Spade and Chimp are the team to look out for. They're earning just a little bit more points as every second ticks on as they continue to out-survive these other teams. Can they find any eliminations, though, in this process? If they can get any more, it'll get them that much closer to getting to #1 spot, but Spade gets caught up in a spider trap there inside the edge of the builds. Can he make his way around the side? No, not in time, and down they go inside the 5th place. Unfortunately, couldn't find any elim points there. This is Larson's opportunity opportunity now to go ahead and catch up. That's one onto Scented. Nice finish there. Here comes the full elimination. Beautifully done. Into the 4 elimination threshold now. They find just a little bit more. Cold on the outskirts. Should be falling anytime soon unless he has a couple more heals left. Seems like the Spider-Man web slinger is going to keep him alive in the game, holding on to dear hope. And Peterbot into another trap too.
Peterbot trying to find a little bit of room. Does have some extra shields. Also has the med miss if he wants to drop in the zone, but not given the time. Vert says, knock, knock. Who's there? He's going to take it out, and he's the solo who's currently operating. We have Smite and Larson on the low ground, up on the high ground. We have Reciprocal just trying to spray down shots. We talked about him in 20 being able to get a little bit going, starting to look a little bit better today. And right now, Vert back in the zone, looking for an opportunity as Reciprocal running low on builds. Only has 10, 2 builds on 20. Does have some of those iron traps to be able to put down. Here comes the chop. Here comes the break. Reciprocal sent down, and he gets picked off. But here comes Vert. Vert hop skipping to the back of the zone, but he gets picked up, and Larson says, I'm going to be the one who comes out. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have Chimp, who is the solo in second place, trying to continue his run going through. After that, the next 2 teams who we're looking at are Smite and Larson, and Jamper and Dukes, who are both still up on their feet. You can see Smite and Larson just below the high grounds on the left-hand side of your screen. Still plenty of swinging coming out as those Mythic Web Slingers end up connecting. You can hear the sound all the way, and Chimp looking for some shots. He hears the player on the backside of the wall. This could potentially be play. Opens up the edit, doesn't find anyone, and just gonna have a nice little calm rotate. My eyes are on the bottom right-hand corner now as he's changing levels. If he goes down, this means there's so much room for Bugha and Miro.
Might have been caught for a moment, but now Surge is definitely the warning here that's coming through. Too many players have to go down. He is so far below. Chimp needs to continue to find some action here, and he's getting chased for going up to second height, biting off a little more than he can chew there. And there's a 6th place team underneath him. It's OMG me and Shadow. Big rip comes through onto that. That's going to be a huge setback for our 6th place team. But Chimp now is under Surge threshold. 200, 170. He needs to find some tags here. Only 2 more ticks separate him. Big one there, but the counter fire was a little bit stronger, and 3 points get awarded to Shadow and company. On height though, Khanada and Acorn managed to maintain this position here. They snuck their way on up. This is the 2nd game now. They're on high ground trying to fight for a victory royale. Day still in this one as well, earning points on the low. Jamper falls to the hands of Bugha. Huge elimination there as Bugha once again starts cutting down the competition.
Cease going down as well. Tamiro just trying to add up those elimination points, but Cole trying to get a couple of his own. The 166 huge shot there, follows it up. Ooh, the edits, and this man's tracking is disgusting. Finds one there. That's the confirmation on the users. No, there's still another player behind him, but he has plenty of extra utility. He just needs time and space. Looking for a little bit now on the backside of the zone. Peterbot right in front of him. Joji up there for another refresh monster.
These are knocks, these are eliminations, these are points that start to matter, especially if the zone does it, so you want to hit those down bodies. Cold, however, hits the wrong wall. There was a team waiting there. One big punt puts them down. Commandment shredded for using the Mythic Slingers to try and make a rotate there from Acorn and Khanada, who are just a little bit more aware. They are paying so much attention, lower themselves now to get closer to the enemies here. Smite is still alive here, earning points. He is a solo as well. What can we see him do? We've already seen this team just let loose every time they come into Endgame. This is one of the better.
Another from Miro.
Look at that. He even pops a mini for 2 HP. Anything matters right now.
Yeah, Miro picking up yet another elim, and I mean, at this point in Bugha and Miro, I mean, we might be looking at the W here if they're able to rack off another win and more points. They're one of the few duos who's still up on their feet. They're on the low ground. They have 6 eliminations, 328 monster. I don't think anybody's even close to 300 at this point, and they're really opening up the gap, trying to put a firm stamp on it. They say trios, solos, duos, it doesn't matter. If we're Bugha and Miro, we're winning it all about face. They find yet another elim. Trashy gets cut down, and Bugha dips back into the zone. A nice little bounce back will provide him with a little bit of respite here as Bucky and Cam still up on their feet as well. Khanada and Acorn trying to range shots in about, trying to get a connection. They have plenty of mats, but no ammo. What?
Yeah. They burnt out everything from the high ground, literally down to a pickaxe here. On the low ground, Miro and Bugha, opposite situation. They have everything that they need. And honestly, this is a game-defining performance here, a tournament-defining performance here at the very end. He managed to make it all the way into the top 5, leaves Bugha behind as he gets picked off, but it doesn't matter. The real story is how he is continuing to earn placement points here as he breaks into top 3. I can't believe Miro and Bugha have just done this consistently all day, just being the best team so far. But Crunchy and Pure on the low ground, Acorn and Khanada on the height. I mean, they're still fighting for more placement. There's still plenty of room for other teams to rocket their way on up and earn some money here.
Miro looking for a nice little layer of change there, but invests about half of his mats to not quite get it, trying to find the cone jump to get up, but instead has to cover himself with a Florina cone to make sure Acorn can't get the pressure, trying to find a 1v1, finds a nice little trade, but he gets a decent amount of shield. They're still in the zone, trying to find the spray, taking the straight up fight against Acorn, winning the trade so far, swaps to the pickaxe, gets the 24, but gets taken down. However, another top 3 performance for our leaders, and I mean, we see third place, they're nearly 100 points behind him at this point. That might be all she wrote, so we could be looking at a battle here for second from here on out. For right now, in game number 10, we got Pure and Country going up against one of the veterans with Acorn backing up, kind of up on the high ground. Acorn trying to put the shots down and close the layer. What they're going to end up doing, Acorn's going to get sent down to fight the 1v2. He has lower HP, so he needs to make sure he either goes down to the zone or he's able to trade out damage. Those are his 2 choices, and instead, he's just going to run back, make sure nobody gets siphoned, and hope that Khanada has the HP, and he's got the med boost. This should be a dub monster.
Not really. Crunchy did have a couple splashes though, so it could come down to, but no, it doesn't look like Crunchy did have enough to maintain. Instead, Khanada says, nah, I don't want to leave it to the end game. I'm going to go for the siphon and the elimination. He gets it there in flash.
If Bugha and Miro pick up any amount of significant points here, it's over. It's done unless there is an absolute record-breaking performance. We could be looking at the Axe of Champions being handed out right now because they are leading in elims, they're leading in placement points, and they're just leading in overall style when it comes to how they've been playing this entire weekend here in the FNCS Finals for NAE East.
Bot review worthy gameplay so far. By far the best team.
We must review this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Need to update that new meme photo there, but hold up. Let's see it. This is a run into the zone right now to try to get ahead, possibly look for the pad in, but Chip and Spade on the other side. 250 above the surge here. Zone starting to pull, favorite to their general location here. Plenty of mats to work with as well. Here's a team that can still get up there on the standings. Don't count him out just yet. Smite as well. Whoa, he's alive here. Flying his way across the map right now, just trying to stay in the runs. One more team falls, Smite will earn some placement points and then continue to earn placement points all the way through the very end. The Spade and Chip is on the very back side of the rotate right now. Chip almost close to sitting inside the storm line, but does sneak his way around, but no, Spade gets lost on the edge there. Now, Chip left as a solo here to play this one out. Pressure. Things just got a lot more difficult for him on high ground. Khanada and Acorn trying to go for the back-to-backs right now. Can they get another win? Is what they're playing for here.
They're trying to push themselves into the conversation. That's on the left side of your screen, but Bugha and Miro are still up, still hip to hip. Miro's taking a bunch of damage, so you can see that. Smite still solo, still running through. He picked up an Elam onto Pledge to get him a very key refresh. However, he's only on wood builds. That's in the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to zoom in. He tries to put the heavy shotgun to work. Skeet shooting, but not going to find those clay pigeons in the sky, not getting the tags he needs. As we still keep an eye on the top left-hand corner, Acorn and Khanada have been pushed out from the high ground. It's Qua and Magnolia who are going to take it away, and they're raining shots down, but no eliminations for them. They need to start picking them up if they want to rocket up that leaderboard and get a little bit higher in that placement. But I mean, Monster, we got to focus on it because this could be the W right here as they're into the cascading placement points. Another top 20 performance. Miro, though, no excess shields, no excess white HP, minus that pepper, which he just popped in. They're running low on builds.
At this point, just give him a little moment. He might just find the siphon. They've managed to play out of their minds absurdly all the day here on high ground. It's a little battle going down, but Quan Magnolia don't have much heals to work with, so I don't know what they're thinking there, as they also don't even have ammo to work with. But Chimp as well is in a much different position here. He has to fall to low ground or sit in the storm and tank it out. Does it bounce back is the question. This is what he's hoping happens. It does, so he will be able to see just a-okay as things get a little bit closer. One more tick is all he's got here. Out he goes. Nicely done there. If that would have went any other way, that would have been game and Raptor. Instead, he gets to stay alive and earn a little bit more. These heals, very important. Smite's still alive. Smite is still alive here in the low ground. He's fighting. He takes out J2 and Oliver OG. Smite is going crazy here. Talk about a player who is clutching up to earn big points. Stay close inside this competition. That's Smite for you today. Chip doing the same thing, though, is now he's got his second elimination here for the team. So far, so good. But now, out of builds, what can they do here?
Yeah, but look who's still up on his feet. Bugha might be down, but we talked about it. You eliminate one, you have to deal with the others. He drops in another 4 points over. He'll get taken out, but a top 6 performance from Bugha and Miro. It has to feel like it's been enough, unless something ridiculous happens in game 12. They've played an absurd performance, but right now, trying to push themselves in contention for that second place spot. We have 6 and 8 still up. Khanada and Stretch pushing down. That's the Yamso getting cleaned up, but Stretch also gets picked up, so now it's Khanada trying to push his way through, looking for a little bit of space over towards the front side of the zone, but he is on absolute low. Gonna slam down the iron wall, trying to play some footsie around the outside, but the zone cuts off the space. He's able to tap and dance, and his number gets cut short. As Cold and Sent continue to try and rain shots down, we have a 2v1, v2, and that'll get picked up as PlayFi goes down, and now it's Elite and Tabney versus Sent and Cold. 2v2, match 11 here, Monster.
Definitely right now. 10 eliminations on a low ground. Big game for Tabney. But hold up. Fight going up top. Looks like Death pushes up a little too soon. And Cold melts him 2 pieces there. Sent now with a follow-up. Here comes the full finish. Sent gets it. Nicely done. He leaves the body, though. Doesn't go for the siphon. So it's all or nothing right now. Big risk coming through as Tabney. Sneaking by. Also comes in. There goes the down body. But Scented was quick and so was Cold. And in they come for the elimination.
Here, rotation ends up coming out. Launch pads were popped on the backside of the zone. That's Fegu and Charlie taking to the air, one of the first endgames we've seen them in. We're going to hop on over here. Smite and Larson, they're on the outside looking in from that top 2 spot, but the placement points keep taking over. They have the opportunity to push for it and potentially overtake Spade and Chimp. That's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. But then also, I just have to mention it, Miro picked up another Elim, just doing solo champion type things. Is actually towards the front side of the zone, so this kid is just ridiculous. But Chimp and Spade right now find an Elim on the backside of the zone, trying to stretch that lead between them and Smite and Larson. Spade was able to find another one, so that's 2 Elims going over to them.
This is actually massive for them to hold this second place right now. They're fighting for it, right? Because you have your 3rd place Smite and Larson still very much in this game. Chimp, though, however, gets stacked up big time, and down he goes. Down. Smite, however, on the bottom side is looking much, much better now that they're finally 14 above the Surge. So they're just barely above it, and 8 players are going to have to go down now. Surge is definitely going to turn on in just a little bit if they don't continue to fight their way through. In the feed, Rise goes down, Pantsu goes down. These are big exchanges there now. Chimp and Spade, though, are still in this game now.
Right now, we talked about the battle for first already being just completely locked up, but in the top right, we have 2nd. In the bottom right, we have 3rd. And then on the left side of your screen, on the high ground, we have 4th place. So the battle for 2nd is on, while the Axe of Champions are going over to Miro and Bugha as he continues another absurd solo run. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all putting it on the line, trying to battle it out. Acorn and Khanada need to press. They need Elims. They need to make up the point gap. They're behind by not an insignificant amount. Smite and Larson, same thing. They need to put the pedal to the metal a little bit. The Elims are equal, but you can see Dukes and Jamper picking up some more points, trying to close themselves in on that battle. Just keeping an eye on the top left, going up for the high ground. Spade, plenty of builds. Great cone off there, and Cam gets taken down. That's a refresh, but how many builds does it get for it? Only picks up 5, so missing a decent portion of that refresh there. Trying to go back, seeing if there's more builds, seeing if there's more loot. He'll get it. He'll pick up the armored wall as well. Picks up some much-needed chug splashes to get himself back up. As again, keeping an eye on the top left-hand corner of the feed. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all still battling it out.
Yeah, definitely, and in the mid-ground, here it is. Duke's still alive as a solo right now, fighting his way on up, but he still has to manage to overtake his way out of 6th place, even with these 7 eliminations as a team right now. Duke's has really been putting up the numbers here. In between them lies all types of players right now. He is just slipping and sliding his way through right now. That's the enemy wall behind him. There goes the replace. He doesn't want to be standing on top of any of these enemy builds on high ground. It's Chimp versus Nosh. Chimp manages to maintain it. Shots come in from the front side of the zone there. That's Magnolia trying to put his focus on the numbers here, but Spade is now officially out of the competition. It's up to Chimp all by himself. Now, last we checked, he was about 3 or 4 eliminations ahead of the players behind him. Can he find a little bit more to continue to give him the cushion and maintain the 2nd place spot? We're talking tens of thousands of dollars on the line right now for Chimp. Great wall right there. Even better shot than follow-up. Nicely done there. Down goes Duke. A little bit less competition for him, and yes, he manages to clutch himself out and catch his way all the way back into this, but the double focus, it's from the top, it's from the bottom. Great terrain change there as well, as he's trying to just avoid the pressure here. Chimp is putting it all on the line right now for this positioning here. He wants this money more than anyone, and now it realizes it all sets in here. He's out of builds. What can he do? Can he find any much more here?
He needs to find some room. Miro finally went down in 6th place. Chimp dropping down the backside of the zone, finds the knock. He needs to get the confirm, and he gets it. He finds one, he finds two. Joji goes down. Chimp trying to do everything he can to get into a second. It's a 1v1v1. Larson finally ended up getting taken down, and then smacked down. It's Nosh getting to it. He swings towards the front of the zone. Magnolia trying to close it out here. Game number 12. Miro and Bugha won. Did Chimp and Spade do enough? Chimp with the individual clutch going through should have picked up the 2nd place, but who, for the bragging rights, wins the final 1v1 here? 20th against 19th. Direct leaderboard implication, direct paycheck implication, as Magnolia with the builds continues to just fight Nosh off, keeping the high ground, trying to get Nosh out in the open. Nosh now out of builds. The floor place comes through, and it should be all she wrote as Magnolia closes it out. That's it, Monster. 12 games down.
Leaderboard for you guys at home to enjoy as well, and there you can see it, and the prize money as well. Miro and Bugha with $130,000 going their way, but around 50 points close there. Spade and Chimp there, $90,000. You can see the rest there, Vivid. What an incredible day for everyone involved.